you and me and Jake all have one thing in common, and that is the DJI FPV quad. Right? You've got yours. I got mine down in the vault so it doesn't get dusty or cracked or anything. But we also have another thing in common, and that is the Skyliner from Ladrib and Rotor Riot. Do you have one of these, Jake?
I don't have one of those
This is a pre-built. I think the only difference between yours and mine, Xavier, is I think mine's the Pro HD or something, and it can take both 6S and 4S batteries.
Yeah. Plus, you got a GoPro on yours. I'm still using the Osmo Action.
Oh, right. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. The video looks great. I'm going to play this video from you, and this is the reason why I wanted to have you on the show, because there's a lot of people out there who are going through the same thing that you did. You started out with the DJI FPV, and you learned ACRO on it. But then the heavens opened up, and you saw the light. Let me go ahead and play this little bit of your video here.
The DJI FPV has gotten me into FPV, has taught me somewhat how to fly ACRO. But I've reached a point where I feel like I'm going to be crashing a lot. I want to fly through small spaces. I want to take a lot more risk. I want to fly lower to the ground and faster. And I feel like based upon my previous crash and other near misses, like this drone is not going to recover from any kind of high speed crash through gaps or anything like that. And I've already experienced almost a 2-week wait to get it out to DJI and to get it back to me, plus $259 for the refresh. How much the second crash is going to be, because DJI's deductible is usually higher the second time you crash. So I might even be paying more than $259. I'm not sure, but I really don't want to find out. All I know is turn on and fly. That's the beauty that the DJI FPV gives you, and that's what I'm looking for. So this is it. I mean, this is it. This is what I got. And you know, it's I don't know what it is.
What it is awesome. Now, the DJI FPV, and I told people this before, but nobody seems to believe me. I said, you get that as a new, never flown ACRO pilot, and it's going to leave you wanting more. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's the point where you were. And and the cost of this is comparable to the DJI FPV if you get the goggles and the controller and everything. But let me ask you this, and I'm about to play the video where you flew this for the first time, which was awesome. Will you ever, now that you have this, will you ever fly the DJI FPV again?
Yes.
Okay.
Ask me if I really want to fly it again.
Do you really want to fly? Oh, okay.
But I feel like I owe DJI this debt. Honestly, I'll be 100% honest with you. If it wasn't for the DJI FPV, I would never, ever, ever get into FPV.
Okay.
Never.
So you liked that it had that safety net and the pause button, which is cool.
Yes,
right.
And I like the fact that I can just go up very high, do whatever nonsense I want, and if I may do anything stupid, just hit pause.
Right.
You know, if I'm upside down and I don't even know where I am, just hit pause.
Yeah, that's good.
I like the simulator. I don't mind learning on the simulator, but I'm a hands-on guy. I need to be out there. I need to be touching and holding and reacting. The simulator, it just doesn't do it for me. I need the real deal.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I had to go out there and learn on something.
Yeah.
And the DJI FPV was it at the time.
That's a great route if you can afford it. That's an expensive way to learn FPV.
Speaking of expense, I crashed another time.
With the DJI FPV?
Yes, after the first, I bought two. Because I figured I'd crash the first one the first time, so I picked up two. I did 1 week without a crash, and then I said, you know what? I'm fine. I can do this. Let me sell the second one. As soon as I sold the second one, I crashed the first one.
Oh,
I was like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh. And so are they now both in a state of disrepair? Are they fixed or what?
No, when I sent the first one off, as soon as the first one came back, I crashed the second one.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. And then I was like, this is it. I'm done. I'm done. This is the slightest little mistake you make, it's going to make you pay. It's going to make you pay.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the DJI FPV, I call it a piece of shit. And I say that only because DJI has put out hit after hit after hit. The Mini, the Air 2S, I mean, everything that the Phantom, the early Phantoms even, everything they've done has been just absolutely wonderful and fantastic. And I'm a huge fan of DJI. But, you know what? Even the world leader in drones needs to have, you know, a reality check once in a while and know that they can put out something that's not the greatest.
Yes.
I think, and maybe you'll agree, Jake, as well, that if they do a DJI FPV version 2.0, and they probably will, that certainly they'll put it on a carbon fiber frame at the very least, and then get rid of those propellers that are just normal plastic.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
They really need to.
Yeah.
So here's a fun fact. I've spent so far $10,640 in refresh.
Oh my, what? Wait, what?
Listen to this. Because, let me explain.
Holy crap.
Every time I crash this, I document it
Yeah.
as one refresh. So I've crashed 38 times with this.
Oh, I see.
So
I
you
see.
multiply that by $280, it's about $10,640.
Right, so-
and when I crash with this, I'm telling you, I hit a tree, hit a fence, it gets wedged in the dirt. I'm like, it's done now. It's done.
You think it's
pull
done?
It out, I'm like, the prop looks bent. Can I straighten it out? Wait, I can straighten this out. Okay.
Yep. Hashtag
fly?
bend it and send it, man. Bend it and send it. Yeah. This very quad. Just the other day, I do this thing where I go up 400 feet and then I go upside down. I love doing that, and then I just drop, and then I drop until I think I can't, and then I pull it out at the last minute. Well, I had almost killed the battery, and it powered off like in the middle of the drop, and it hit upside down on a metal aluminum bleacher, and it made the most god awful noise. You know those noises where you think, well, there goes $600, you know? And I walked over expecting props to be broken, my poor GoPro Session 5 to be gone, the battery. Not a damn thing was wrong. One of the ESCs was loose, and I just taped it on again. It was fine. And so that would have been a care refresh, right? So you're adding all those up, and so all the money that you're saving money. How can you afford not to have an FPV drone with the carbon fiber? If anyway, and I know you got to go, but let me play the second part of that video. This is you flying the Rotor Riot Skyliner for the very first time. Check this out. This is one thing.
This is it. Okay, not bad. It flies, it's balanced, it's nice. I can't complain. Oh wow, this is like the DJI drone, but this is supposed to be a lot sturdier. And I'm not gonna do anything crazy. This is just my first flight. I don't know the voltage. I don't know the range on this thing, like what range I'm gonna get. That's why I didn't go into my car or anything. Wow, but this is just so much more smoother. Oh, you know what? Rotor Riot said they tuned it, so it's gotta be the tuning thing that has it so smooth. Wow, I mean, wow. I feel like I could take a lot more chances with this because you know, the whole carbon fiber frame thing is supposed to be a lot harder to break. Wow, this is much more nimble, and the voltage is good. The battery life is okay. I feel like I'm getting good battery life. I thought these FPV guys only get like 2 minutes. I feel like I've been getting a few minutes. Not bad for my first flight. Wow. Wow, this drone just feels a lot more controllable. Wow, I don't know if it's because of the tuning. DJI will definitely, wow, once you fly this, like the way this just feels like, wow, this feels like Like, to be honest with you guys, this feels like a proprietary something. This feels like out of the box kind of a thing. This doesn't feel like the way it looks. It looks like a little monster, like homemade built, but it doesn't fly like a homemade built. The DJI FPV actually flies more like a home built quad. Wow, this thing is strong, and it flies. Wow, I can't believe this flies better than the DJI drone, this home built. Wow, Rotor Riot. I guess it must be the tuning. These guys know how to tune a drone. I must say, I'm impressed with this thing. I'm impressed. Came out the box with a stabilized mode and a beeper. Pretty much a DJI drone, but flies a lot better. Sorry, flies a lot better. And this is someone who learned to fly ACRO on a DJI FPV. I've never flown one of these things, really. This is actually my first flight. I'm happy, guys. I'm impressed. I'm surprised. You know, you think something like DJI that comes out of the box will fly better than this? No, these guys know what they're doing, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I think that video had about 150 wows in it.
Yeah, I counted at least 150.
There was a lot of wows. And let me tell you, as I know you have to go here in a minute, but flying a tuned quad is night and day. It's night and day. It's like when I liken it to cars. If you've ever driven a sports car that's not tuned and then have it tuned, it's like, why did I ever drive this sports car to begin with without getting it tuned? You know, it's amazing. So that was a wonderful video. And there's some people asking what this is. This is a Ladrib Skyliner. That's SKYELINER. This is the HD Pro. If anybody, and I forgot to put the link in the description. I apologize to Drew Camden. One of my moderators, please put a link. Go to rotorriot.com, and then they list all the products there. I don't get an affiliate or anything. Drew's just my buddy. And so I told him that we were going to be talking about this particular drone in comparison with the DJI FPV tonight. So if you're interested in getting into FPV, my advice would be not to learn on, because it might be on the DJI FPV, because it might be an expensive proposition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. If I could do it differently, I would definitely start with this. I would have saved a lot of money. To this date, 38 crashes. The most I've changed is a prop. The most I've changed, I haven't soldered anything. I don't even know what these parts are that are exposed that I'm looking at. I figure I'll learn as I break something, but I just can't break it. And I break things easily. So
yeah, I bet you break a lot of hearts easily too, don't you, buddy? Are you going to be, so you're going to get into building and stuff and learn all that kind of thing and beta flight and all that?
I'm a plug and play kind of guy. And the way this works, it's just beautiful. I can't ask for anything more. If it breaks, then I'll have to learn to fix it. But until it breaks, and it's got some pretty hard crashes.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 feet, I hit the kill switch by mistake. I was like, oops, what did I do? It's coming down. Box.
Yep.
I'm like,
and
it's gotta be done. No, it's not.
Yeah. Now, people are sometimes intimidated by the whole FPV world. There are a lot of these options out there, not just on Rotor Riot, but Rotor Riot, in my experience, has been the best one that I've flown so far. These bind and flies, already tuned, already everything. You don't have to know soldering and everything. It's just like, off the shelf kind of thing. So if you're interested in doing that, there are a lot of options.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning to people that it's just as simple as pushing a button here on this little part right here that binds it to the DJI goggles. The same DJI goggles that you fly your DJI FPV with has a button. You press that button, you link it to this. You get another DJI controller, you press a few buttons, and then they all link up, and that's it. You're ready to fly. Last thing that I do think I should mention is this charger. One of the big reasons I never got into FPV was because of the charging. I figured that the batteries blow up and stuff like that. But with this charger, it's like a DJI charger. You just plug it in, and then the lights go up. And then when it's fully charged, all the lights light up.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's it.
Yeah, because DJI and Autel Evos and everything, they have intelligent batteries with the charging proprietary stuff built into the battery itself. That's why they're so expensive. But you can get a 6S battery, a dumb battery like this, for $30 or something around there, and then just get a smart charger, and you won't blow yourself up. But do get a lipo bag if you don't have one.
Yes, I do have that. Also worth mentioning is that in the goggles, it also shows you the home point. So I was like, wait a minute, this is like DJI. I mean, they programmed it right out the box. So when I paired it up, the home point was showing right in the goggles. So I was like, I thought this was only a DJI thing.
Yeah.
You know, like only the DJI FPV had that. And then they showed battery life.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You can
the
set
whole
that up.
experience was very similar. I didn't expect that. I expected, you know, I need to set my clock to a timer. And if I don't land by that time, it's going to explode.
Right. You can get them with GPS. You can get them with an altimeter. I mean,
Yes.
you know, there's all kinds of options. They're very customizable. Anyway, Jake, you're nodding over there. Did you have something to add?
I agree 100%. I mean, I started building my own FPV drones and flying them that way before DJI released the FPV drone. But I think anybody that wants to get into FPV, one, know that even if you tell yourself you're only going to get one drone, you're not. You're going to end up with 20 of them like I did. And two, you can wreck a self-built or one of the pre-built FPV drones like that a lot and hard before you actually have to fix anything. And if you really want to get into FPV, it's way better. Just take the plunge and jump into it. Learn to build them, learn to fix them, buy a pre-built and learn to fix it. It's just a way better way to go than the DJI FPV drone. I've probably spent $40,000 or $50,000 if we're accounting for Xavier's way of accounting for carry refresh, then right. I'm easily in the $50,000 range for crashes.
If you fly drones solely, if you're flying GPS drones solely for the joy of flight and flying, then take it to the next step. I can't recommend it highly enough. You think you already look at the world in a different way, like, oh, over there, and I can do that, I can film that. FPV will be like, oh, I can fly through that, I can go under that, I can go around that, look at that abandoned building. It's amazing. It's the closest that any human will get to actually being able to fly.
Yep.
And I thank you very much for being on. You're probably late for your class right now, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotta run.
All right, Xavier,
care,
thank you so much.
Pleasure.
All right, we appreciate you being on as a guest. See you later, man. All right, bye-bye.